Hello everybody, my name is Ruby. Today I'm going to show you how to make really thick subs. So I have this like dubsteppy beat going on, right? So this sub is here. Because it's kind of like a dubsteppy song, the sub is like the main instrument, but the sound's really weak, right? I'm using Operator. I like Operator for basses because it's really easy to use once you learn it. But so right now it's just a sine wave, right? Now this is going to be probably the deepest, like most pure sub you could get, but it's not very loud. It's not very thick, you know. If you have a good subwoofer or a great set of headphones, it's going to be real low and rumbly. But you know, most people don't, or the kind of people that are going to be listening to your music don't really, right? So what we're going to do is thicken it up by clicking on the first oscillator, which is where the sub is coming from. There's two tabs here, envelope and oscillator. We're going to go to oscillator, and we're going to change the harmonics of it. You want to set it to 16 so it's easier to use. And then you're going to turn the third harmonic up a bit. And you can already hear the difference without even soloing it. I'm going to solo it just so you can hear it as I change it again. And the goal with this is to get this little waveform down here to like square out a little bit more while still retaining that sine shape. You can try other harmonics too. The third just works the best in my experience. So like, you can kind of combine them to make cool sounds, but for just clean thick sub, third harmonic usually works the best for me. So one other thing I forgot to mention that you should probably do is make sure this phase is set to 0, and then turn this on to re-trigger it, and then click on this volume tab. I set it to one voice, and make sure re-trigger is on here as well. That will make sure that your sub is always in the same phase every time it plays, which makes it easier to keep it like in sync with your kick. So now the bass sound is thick, and then we're going to saturate it a little bit, right? Just gonna put it before there. So I just turn it up a little bit. We'll do 6. Now it's nice and thick, and usually I'm not entirely sure how it works, to be honest, but turning the bass down a little bit kind of smooths out the saturation, I think. And then what I like to do is I like to layer a little bit of noise on it using erosion, wide noise, turn the width up, and move it towards the top. And so now in the full track. And then another thing I like to do to make interesting subs is I like to give it a little bit of a pitch envelope. So you can do that by turning this on. I'm going to solo it again so you can hear it. Now that's a little much. It's because the decay on the pitch is too slow. So if we turn this up, or turn it down rather, to like 50 milliseconds or so, it's almost like a kick drum, maybe a little longer. I think that sounds sick. So when you hear it layered with the kick, or maybe you could even do it the other way. And then you could automate this decay to do some more cool effects, right? Like, maybe we turn it up here. And then copy that. Oops. And there you go. You get the idea. It's just playing with shit. Playing with these harmonics to give it some more like mids to it, you know? If I pull up an EQ with a graph, or I guess I can use a spectrum too. That's probably the more correct way. You see this extra harmonic around 120 here that we're hearing. If I turn this off, it's gone. So this fundamental is real low. That's providing the rumble, but this harmonic is giving our ears something to like hear and understand, you know? Yeah. Sorry if this didn't make any sense. But that's how I make subs.